Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedic, go to Brock. You need a roof, you call Parish. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com. Very glad to have everybody aboard with us here. As always, on YouTube, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. All right, y'all, we'll get rolling here this morning. Basketball Tigers got a win. If you didn't watch, it beat Charleston Southern. I get it, early season. A lot of people still focused on football, even though neither the Saints or the Tigers are having the greatest seasons. But Tigers a little sluggish. Charleston Southern, by the way, is not a good team. That was LSU was a 26-point favorite in that game. Charleston Southern came in 1-4 on the season. They lost to Clemson, North Florida. They beat something called Morris, and then lost to UT Rio Grande and VMI. So not a good team. And they came to Baton Rouge, though, and really hung with LSU. As a matter of fact, Charleston Southern had the lead at half, 34-29. And similar to that opener, man, it was at about the 8-minute mark where LSU kind of kicked. Jordan Sears had a big three. He had 15 points. I've been telling you all about Victorious Miller, man. If you're not watching this team, mark my words, the same reason, the same way I was telling y'all Nas Reed's a pro, and some of y'all laughed at me, should have stayed, we do this, should have stay joke. I'm telling you, Victorious Miller is a pro. He had 19 last night, 9 of 14 shooting. He is, he's got size and athleticism. He's 6'5", 185-pound guard. He can shoot from anywhere. He can create a shot. He's long and athletic and can rebound. I mean, he is a pro. Victorious Miller is a pro. He is an NBA player. So enjoy watching him play if you can or when you can. So Tigers, they win 77-68. So this is part of the Greenbrier Classic. So Greenbrier up in West Virginia, where the Saints were at training camp a couple of years. So the teams had a home game, and then they go to the Greenbrier for the round robin. So LSU will play Pitt on Friday. Wisconsin's also in the Greenbrier Classic. Tip-off, not Greenbrier Classic, sorry, the Greenbrier tip-off. It's here it is. It's Wisconsin, Pitt, UCF is the other school, and LSU. So LSU's going to play Pitt, and then they'll play either Wisconsin or UCF. So you get a couple of games there at the Greenbrier, which would be good. Test your mettle. Little Morgan's some better competition. Pitt's a pretty good team, so we'll see how it goes. All right, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Appreciate y'all for being there with us. As you know, the drill is always fire away, questions, comments, concerns, etc. Erica just called me and said there was a wreck in the street in front of our house. She was leaving to go to school. So she's like, you're probably not going to get to school on time. So just hunker down. Still want to see what Waze says about it. So I know if I need to rush out of here, get Drew up, rush him out of here, if I need to just be patient. So, all right, let's say some good mornings here. Tiger Diver, morning. Caught the tail end of AFR. You said the SEC wasn't expanding football rosters from 105 to 85. What's the reason for that? Yeah, that's something they announced, or I guess Ross Dellinger reported a couple of years ago. I think it's a couple weeks ago. Ross Dellinger reported that, and I asked him the reason, and I mean, I'll read you. I don't mind reading his text. He said, likely a please keep us from ourselves situation. I don't really understand if everybody else is going to go to 105, why the SEC would stay at 85, unless if they feel like there's a possibility that we're still saying 37 minutes. Okay. Unless they're saying there's a feeling maybe that doesn't get instituted long term, or that's just a 1 year thing. So do you fluctuate with your rosters, or do they not want to spend the money on the 105 scholarships year one? I don't know, but that was a bizarre thing. Sean, hate players only meetings. They're just for show. Hardly ever do things to get resolved. Accountability is a big thing. Kelly needs a rat poison moment. I don't know where that got reported about a players only meeting. I didn't see it. I was on Chuck Oliver's show yesterday, and he asked me about it. I didn't even know about it when he asked me. I'm with you. Who cares? You're only having players only meetings if things aren't going well. So hopefully they get it together. Jacob, good morning. Wendell, good morning. Weston, good morning. Juan, good morning. Drew nailed the intro yesterday. You're great, Dad. Go this way. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Juan. Hey, Pat, good morning. Brian, Blaze, good morning, everybody. Good to see y'all there. Brian Penn from Sydney, Ohio. Craig Duga, I know you're fired up, booting up. Craig, I don't know if you noticed, but we had Matt McMahon on AFR on Friday, and I asked him, if he was going suit up or boot up. I asked him if he was going to wear. Hang on. I asked him if he was going to wear a suit on Tuesday, and because he went back to wearing the quarter zip. There it is. So this was Matt McMahon Friday on AFR.
You can throw some sneakers on. I'm still with that as well. But what's your preference?
All right, I'm all for the LSU gear, the quarter zip. But if you're saying suit up on Tuesday, I'll suit up.
Hey, man, I'll get the hashtag rolling. Instead of boot up, let's go suit up. Or boot up and suit up, however we can do it, man. Make it your thing.
So, Matt McMahon, rock. Now, he went open collar, no tie, but he did wear the suit. So, man of his word. You love to see it. Sean, can we get a guest host appearance if he's awake? He's not awake, man. He's sleeping. And as I would find out shortly after the show yesterday, the reason Drew was awake is because let's just say he needed to move his bowels. And boy, was that a gift for old Dad on Tuesday morning. Gary, good morning. Sure, we get Jakeem Stewart to get to 6 5-stars. Yeah, so Shay was on yesterday, and I talked about this in today's Locked On. So if you're scoring at home, Bryce Underwood, DJ Pickett, Cade Phillips, the cornerback out of Texas, newly minted 5-star, Harlan Berry. You have 4 5-stars currently committed. You and Ohio State are the only team with 4 5-stars. If you get Jakeem Stewart, that's 5. And Shay's prediction is that Karius Kern, the offensive lineman from Arkansas, will also get a 5th star. If that happens, you would have 6 5-stars, which would be the most in a class in LSU history. I mean, you are polishing off. You are nearly polishing off, or close to polishing off, the greatest signing class in the history of the program. You just got to get it across the finish line. Craig, bench won the game. Love the depth, man. Hey, Thomas, good morning. Jinglegate Day 10. Let's break that record. Good luck on this morning as well. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you as always. Yeah, we'll hit the jingle here in a second. Brad, good morning. Did you see Connor making fun of you on Twitter this morning about your uniform rant? I saw his tweet. I don't care. I've known Richard forever. He's just an old guy shouting at the clouds. Whatever. Brett DeGrow, I love him. I do. Saw him yesterday. Gave him a big hug. I love him, but whatever. L. Webbs, I'll be at the Greenbrier. Okay, go Tigers. Wacky Chris, good morning, Matt. What do we think of this players-only meeting Will Campbell talked about yesterday? Oh, okay. So during media availability last night, they talked about it. Okay. Yeah, I don't care. I just players-only meeting is like teams that are going well don't call players-only meetings. The fact that LSU called one is an indicator, obviously, that things aren't going well. I don't think a players-only meeting solves things. I don't know when that's ever solved anything. If you need a players-only meeting to get guys to lock in, that's unfortunate. Jesse Brown, what's a realistic record for the Saints this season? So I think they'll beat the Giants and the Raiders. That puts you at 5. Your other games that you have are home against the Rams, home against Commanders, at Packers, at Bucks. You're going to be an underdog in all 4 of those. If you split them, you get to 7. If you get one of them, you're at 6-11, which was actually my record prediction before the season. So I think top end 7, more realistic 5 or 6. You know, if you can get 2 more, I think that'd be really good. Although Sean Salisbury had a good point yesterday on AFR because I asked him about that. And, you know, I should have thought of this, but he's right. Like, if Darren Rizzi finished, like, let's say he goes 6-2 over his 8 games as the interim head coach. Like, I mean, he's done the job. Like, it's not like an interim thing where someone takes over and they coach the last 2 or 3 weeks. Like, that's an 8-game sample. That's a half a season. You've got home games and road games and favorites and underdogs, and like you go through the whole thing. Like, he will have done the job. So you actually can grade Darren Rizzi at a different level than you would most interims because of the sample size he is going to have here. Okay, let me go turn off Drew's sound machine. Here you go, Thomas.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Okay. Drew also decided around 3:30 in the morning that he just wanted to get up and play. He's like, get up, go play. Get up, go play. We're like, no. So mommy put Drew in our bed, and so he's still sleeping in there. Get up, go. I'm like, it's 3:30 in the morning. What are you doing? All right. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Trivia, good morning. Damon, good morning. Fred, morning, Matt. In your opinion, do you think the 2 5-star cornerbacks coming next year will be immediate starters? I think DJ Pickett will be. That's not to diminish Cade Phillips. He could be as well. I think Ashton, obviously you're losing Zy Alexander, so one of your spots is open. Ashton Stamps has been a starter this year, and I think has played well. I think you could see a scenario where maybe Stamps becomes your nickel. PJ Woodland's played a lot of nickel this year for you as well. But I think, both those guys are on the field and contribute for you. Absolutely. I think DJ Pickett, which if you could put DJ Pickett in an LSU uniform, he would start against Vanderbilt on Saturday. Guy Brooks, good morning, Matt. Why is the pressure on Brian Kelly so much? Understand he has a big contract. He has to be given time to build the roster. Recruiting is working. Still needs some dudes on defense. Yeah, I think a lot of it's just because of so much of the conversation about his teams in year 3 usually hitting that inflection point. And then, this 3-game losing streak is unsettling. But it's just very obvious when you look back. I mean, there's been a lot of good, right? You won the West year 1. Jaden won the Heisman. Like, he gets credit for recruiting Jaden Daniels. Like, he gets credit for that. there's also been bad, like we've talked about. And he's still building and finding that balance. But the big mistake they made last year was not spending enough in the portal, in the first portal window. That was their big mistake. So it left you deficient in some spots this year, and your deficiencies have been exposed at times. Tiger Poppy, more to my granddaughter was singing the Paris jingle yesterday. I love it. That's so good. Love to get her a Paris hat or a shirt if she wants one. The GOAT, what's the truth to a Michigan podcast saying the state of Louisiana is too broke to compete with them in NIL? I think that's low-hanging fruit. I think Michigan has more wealthy boosters. Remember rev share. I don't know the podcast and what they say, but remember rev share is going to cap spending starting in June, or July 1, so this coming football season. So that is going to change the dynamics. But what I will tell you is, like, I know what LSU's offer to Bryce Underwood is, and the gap isn't so significant that the per year gap isn't so significant that Bryce Underwood would leave. The one thing that could change is, and I mentioned this in today's Locked On, which I would recommend you go listen to it or watch it. So all the collectives, like let's say a collective has $5 million in their bank account, just hypothetically, all right? I'm not saying this is LSU, I'm just saying hypothetically. Let's say you got $5 million in your account. Well, starting on July 1, everything goes to a rev share. And so collectives, for all intents and purposes, become obsolete. The aggressive fundraising for a collective stops because you could still only spend what you can spend in rev share. You could still do like traditional NIL. Like if a business wants to contact a player and do an NIL deal, you could do that. So all the collectives that have this money feel like they got to spend it by July 1. So you are going to see massive amounts of money dumped before July 1. So there's a possibility that a team could say, let's say Michigan says, okay, Bryce, we'll give you $5 million up front, lump sum. Well, if you do that, that's $5 million. Like, now I understand you're looking at that. But I mean, the conversations I've had is that there are three players in this class that LSU is pot committed. They have identified that we cannot lose. It's Bryce Underwood, DJ Pickett, and Jakeem Stewart. So they are committed to getting those players here. Michael Thacker, morning. Not sure if you've been clear enough with your opinion on the LSU alternate jerseys. Could you let me know if you're a fan? Daniel, basketball team much improved, moving in the right direction. Appreciate it, Michael. Chance, good morning. Daniel, spoke to Jonah Williams' dad the other night. He can be flipped. We're trying hard to flip him. That'd be great. I haven't heard a lick of that since he committed to Texas. That's the 5-star safety and also the outfielder. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Hope so. It'd be awesome. Don, Matt, I think we underestimated the impact of Brian Kelly reducing the number of analysts on game preparation. Okay. Craig, good morning. Fashion Hub. Patrick, morning, Scone. Sloppy win, but a win's a win. Love Carter and Victorious Miller. Chess is a beast. I'll tell you, man, it was so impressive to watch Corey Chest against Kansas State because, I mean, he'd only played 3 minutes against ULM. And with Derek Fountain out, he picked up those minutes and played, 21 minutes, had 13 rebounds. Chest came off the bench, 22 minutes, 6 boards, 8 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks. I mean, like, you have dudes that are active on both ends of the floor. It's fun to watch this team. Like, it looks like Matt McMahon finally has a team that's not just a roster, but it's a team built with players in the image of how he wants his roster built. And a big part of this is NIL. I know that they've bumped their NIL budget significantly this year. Rocky, good morning. Stat Dub. LSU played 3 freshmen last night with extended minutes. Future's bright. Let's see. Morning, Matt. Not sure if you're talking about it yet. Why did LSU roll with Swan at QB2 instead of Ricky? Yeah, we haven't. I think the only thing that I can think of is road game in the SEC. Swan had started games in the SEC. Just someone who had that experience before. You needed him to get out there and make sure you executed the play and not turn it over. Living Grace Community Church, Cary, Illinois. Tell us how you feel about Nike and why you're buying you and Drew matching gold shirts. Charlie, good morning. Shane Carver, morning, Matt. Can you explain how revenue sharing will impact LSU? I don't have enough time for that. So ultimately, the revenue share is so all of the revenue that LSU athletics or any athletic department takes in, they can share that with their student athletes up to a certain percentage. And I think the dollar amount comes around like just north of $20 million. So keep in mind that $20 million. So LSU last year, top line revenue was around $200 million. So let's say they share 20 million of that with their student athletes. Well, that means you got to cut 20 million from your budget somewhere or increase revenue enough to cover that number. Now, a big part of the revenue increase this year will happen because of the new TV deal, right? So you've expanded the SEC to 16 teams. You got the new TV deal with ESPN. So revenue is going to go up. So that's going to handle some of it, but you will have to cut elsewhere. But keep in mind that total dollar amount, that's what's going to be split among all sports. So football, basketball, baseball, women's basketball, softball, all of it. So how they divvy up the funds is something that will be very interesting to see because football is not going to get all of it. So how do you how to figure that number, that distribution will be interesting to see. There, Carrie. I figured that was you, Carrie. Greg Lehman, 6-2 is interim Super Bowl in 27. Who's your quarterback? Lowell Cormier, Michael Cook, Greg Lehman. Oh, I got it. 6-2 is the interim. Okay. That was an interim ed take. Got it. When will the Live from Paris Build album be available? Greg, does Coach O get credit for recruiting Burrow? I've always said that Coach O gets credit for closing Burrow. You don't get in the door without Bill Bush. And Bill Bush was hired by Dave Aranda, and Aranda was hired by Les. So you don't even get a conversation with Burrow without Bill Bush. But Ed Ogeron absolutely deserves credit for doing the thing that he is great at, and that was staying on that entire family. And it was Dan Burrow who, Ed's really good at reading a room, man. And he knew Dan, Joe's brother, who played at Nebraska. Dan was the one who was like LSU. And so Ed stayed on Dan to work on Joe. So yeah, absolutely. And I've said that all the time, Greg. I've always been consistent with that. Like, Ed absolutely deserves credit for the job he did recruiting Joe. John, good morning. How's Drew? He's good, man. Getting better, a little under the weather, but he took him to the doctor on Monday. He's feeling better and better. His baseball boosted NIL. Jay's on a heater in recruiting. Baseball has more been handled like Jay goes and effectively privately fundraises what he needs. Like, if Jay needs money, he'll make the calls and what he's got to do to get what he needs. All right. The crawfish closed Joey B. No, it didn't, actually. There's a great story. Jeff Marks did a great story about Burrow's whole time in Baton Rouge from his recruitment all the way through. And the crawfish thing at Mike Anderson's, if you go back and read it, like Ed, where Ed talks, Ed's leaving Mike Anderson's with Kelly, and he's like, he's not coming here. Like he thought that just didn't go well at all. But when they got in the film room, I think is when it started to turn a little bit. And anyway, it's a good piece if you want to go read it. Jeff Marks did up that feature for The Advocate, kind of as a guest feature columnist, and it was really well done. Anyway, so this is the question: do collectives go away once revenue share starts? Nobody knows, but probably. Again, there's no precedent for this. So some will. Maybe some might get assumed by the athletic department. Some might be disbanded altogether. One thing that's really interesting was I gotta go. Sorry, let me finish this thought. So one thing that's interesting is there's some suggesting that the collectives could continue to operate and funnel money to businesses for true NIL. I have made it known that Parish Construction and Roofing would love to participate. So in essence, to say, okay, collective has money, collective can't go do NIL deal as a representative of the university anymore. So does collective take money, go to Parish, and say, here, do an NIL deal with player X? And so the collective funds the deal through Parish, and the athlete does the deliverable for Parish. I'm like, I would love to be a part of that program if that happens. Now, would the NCAA allow that? Don't know. Probably not, but can they enforce it? They haven't been able to enforce anything else. So again, the answer to your question is it's still very indefinite. All right, I got to go. Thanks for being here. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. As always, shout out to Brock and Parish. Need an orthopedist, go to Brock. You need a roof, call Parish. Unique physique, restored motions, semaglutide, tirzepatide, the once-a-week injections for weight loss. Lowest prices, never any contracts. You do the whole thing over telemed, and they can ship your medicine anywhere in the country, uniquephysique.com. And, of course, Restored Motions and restoredmotions.com. Y'all have an awesome day.